Hello, everybody. Good evening. And as Jeremy says, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, no matter where you are in the world. Hello and welcome to the ZUKUL Hangout. Now, this is Friday's Hangout, and as I said to you on Wednesday, I'm going to be on my own today and on Monday because Jeremy is away in Italy, the lucky fellow. He may be able to join us on Monday, depending on if he can get some internet connection, but obviously if not, it's not to worry. We're going to go through on Monday, we're going to go through the compensation plan. So we'll have a run through on that. So if you've got prospects or people who are a little bit confused about how the compensation plans with regard to ZUKUL itself, then Monday is the hangout for you. And tonight we're going to go through autoresponder. We're going to walk through the ZUKUL autoresponder. I'm going to show you some basics on there. I'm also going to talk you briefly on how you can start to create your own email sequences. And it's really important that you do create your own email sequences and you don't rely on other people's work, simply because you can then personalize them into your own language, into the way that you talk, and also direct the customers the way that you want them to be directed. So with that, I'm going to quickly do some screen sharing, because before that there are some updates from ZUKUL that Jeremy's given me a heads up on, and obviously I just want to walk through those with you. So hopefully I won't lose you. I'm just going to quickly share my screen, and hopefully there we go. There we go. All right, so where are we? Okay, this is the first one. Now, as we know, we have the ZUKUL blog, and at the moment the ZUKUL blog is set up so that you have obviously your main content rectangle, if you like, in this area here, and then we have a right hand side here where we have all of your categories. You know, you can have advertising on there, and obviously your opt-in box, and it's all, you know, all really good, and we like the way that all works and works together. However, what we also want to do is be able to allow you to add tabs along the top of here, or even disguised pages, and I'll go through that, I'm sure, once we get this set up. But what Jeremy has been working on this week is allowing you to be able to create sales pages. Now, this is just a mock-up. There's still quite a bit of work that we need to do, but he's just created a mock-up page just to show you what the possibility. So this, as you can see, I think is possibly an Amazon page. It might be, and basically what we've done is we've been able to sit this in what we call an iframe. So I won't go into the technicalities of how we would do that until obviously it's all live and set up for you. But again, the importance of this is because you will then be able to start to sit capture pages in here. So if I take you over to our blog now and take you to this here. So for example, here we've got a sales page here, a mock-up sales page, again, just showing you how a sales page could look. But if you can imagine that without this on the right-hand side, then you can imagine that that would be a lot better. It'd be a lot cleaner, a lot smarter, and it looks as though effectively that you're sat on whatever page this might be. And obviously we've still got some work to do across the top here to try and lose all this, so it just does look like a standalone sales page. And again, what we're creating here long term is creating you know, we talk about the blog being a hub or your home base, and effectively that's what we're doing. We're allowing you to expand that blog into creating effectively a very effective website, which would obviously also include a blog capability, and then obviously, like I say, a sales room as well. So that's all brilliant. That's coming on nicely. Now, the other innovation that we've seen come in. Now, I've opened up a free account here. I've just set up a free account to show you how this works, because obviously we're going to have a look at the autoresponder at some point, and I've just realized I won't be able to show you that on the free account, so my plan has backfired somewhat. Anyway, no matter, I'll just show you these quick innovations. So we've got on directs here, we've now got this upgraded to where it now shows you to 3 levels. Now, you won't see this on here, I don't think. No, we won't. But what you'll see on yours is you'll see obviously your direct names here, obviously their email, phone number, and level. So obviously you can see why I've not been able to show you a live site of this, because obviously from a data protection point of view that would be a bit naughty. So as you can see, you would have your names here, and then you would have a series of brackets, and the numbers in the brackets would indicate how many people that they have in their teams. So you might have Fred here, and in brackets you might have 10. And then you might have Ginger here, and in brackets you might have 2. And then there's a little button at the side here, and if you click on the little button or click on the name, it will actually open them out, and you'll be able to see all of their directs as well. So you'll get sight of all of your affiliate directs down to 3 levels, which will be absolutely amazing. So that's fantastic. So you'll be able to see how your team is growing on the affiliates. On the affiliate side. So you've got the affiliate side, and obviously you've got the bonus funnel as well. You can also see how your team's growing on both aspects of the compensation plan. And again, that ties in nicely with what I'll go through on Monday. And what I'll do is I'll create some screenshots, and I'll obviously block out the people's details, and I'll show you that properly on Monday. And then the sharp-eyed amongst you will have noticed that we've got another tab here which has appeared, and this is called Products Library. Now we click on here, and hopefully, it won't let me because I'm in a free account, aren't I? Okay, right, what I'll do is I'll quickly log out of here, and I will log into my account. Okay, that's that. Click on the Products Library. There we go. So on the Products Library, you can now see that we have all the products all individually priced. And what you'll see during the course of next week is that when we click on these buttons, they'll be taken straight over to their own domain. So you'll have the Facebook Ninja set on its own domain, along with the landing page creator, the tracker, the sniper, autoresponder, banner creator, and obviously the blog. Now, just a rough calculation here, you can see straight away that there is, I think, over $100 worth of value. And bearing in mind that this is, we're only charging $50 for all of this, and that's not including the training that's in the jukebox training, the modular training, the fact that in the autoresponder you can have up to 4,000 subscribers, I think. Let me just check that one for you. I don't want to be giving you duff information. I think it's up to 4,000 subscribers you can have. Yeah, sorry, 2,000 subscribers you can have within the autoresponder, which is just amazing. If you go to Aweber or GetResponse, you're going to pay in the region of $50 alone for 2,000 subscribers. So you can see that it's an incredible value, the autoresponder, which obviously brings me nicely to the topic that we're going to cover later on today. And again, as I've clicked on there, you can see that at the moment, obviously we've got it looking just as a holding place at the moment. But again, it all works. The individual can click on that button, and then they can upgrade. So if you are, let's say you are a beginner's package, and you wanted the autoresponder, or if you wanted the Facebook Ninja, for example, then you could get the Facebook Ninja for just an additional $17.98. And also importantly is that if you purchase that, then what happens is that the money is also spread out over the 3 levels. So again, that money doesn't go to the company or anything like that. That goes to the affiliates as well. So if I was to buy that at $17.98, then obviously a percentage would go up to 3 levels above me, would be paid out. So again, it's just an additional way of you guys obviously promoting ZUKUL's products, but also making sure that you can actually earn extra money through people in your team upgrading. At the end of the day, they may only want the landing page creator, or they may just want the blog. So they don't have to come in at the $50. We're trying to make ZUKUL as user friendly and as adaptable as we possibly can. So I need you guys obviously to pass that message along. So that's good news. But like I say, that will enhance again during the course of next week, as will obviously the the single page blog. Okay, so those are a couple of the ZUKUL updates that we've got. Now, what I'm going to talk about this evening is the autoresponder. Now, again, I've got to be a little bit careful because there's only certain bits of this autoresponder that I'm going to be able to show you, because obviously it's going to have people's contact details on here. But I just want to make sure that you can understand the power of what it is that you've actually got. Now, first of all, you will have the ZUKUL responder. Now, the ZUKUL responder is already set up. You have, as always, you're always going to have a video at the top of each page. But the ZUKUL responder, every time that you use a capture page template, or you use the default autoresponder system that we have in the landing page creator, then what will happen is that your prospects, your leads, will start to see all of these emails over a period of 8 days. Now, what you can do is you can change these, and I encourage everybody to change these. These are fairly generic messages, and they're done that way simply to encourage you to go and change them. So how do you change them? Well, for example, you've got here one which obviously says welcome to the world of ZUKUL. Well, you may want to say welcome to Darren's blog, or whatever it might be. So you could click on here where it says create an autoresponder. And then what will happen is if you click on here and type in the day that you want to change, so we're going to put in day 1, what it does, it automatically pre-populates the autoresponder message that is going to be sent out. So this is the full content of that first message. So as you can see, it says thank you for requesting more information from one of my websites recently. This is just a short message to say hi. Now, it could well be that you want to change all of that, or you want to introduce your name early on. It could be anything, whatever it is that you want to do. And remember, this is going out to people who are opting into your ZUKUL list. If you want to change anything, then clearly you just write it down here into this document here. You've also got these placeholders. So if you want to put in your first name, your last name, make sure that your Facebook link gets carried across, then just make sure that you put in the percentage sign, and obviously this wordage, and then another percentage sign. And as you can see, we've got here, you can see how they all sit in nicely. So that's how you would change an existing autoresponder message. And then once you've done that, clearly you would then click the save button. And once you've clicked the save button, if we go back to the autoresponder, you then have the option to then flick between the two. So you could decide that you're going to have your new message here, but perhaps you're happy with the company message here. You're happy with the company one here, but actually you want to do your own message here. And once you've done all that, obviously, you would then save all that, and obviously it would then continue in that way until you come back to change it. And obviously I will change all that back now. So again, even within the where we've got these pre-written emails, there is a certain amount of flexibility even within that for you. Okay, so that's the first bit. The second bit is that obviously you can now start to send out campaigns and newsletters of your own. Now, the first thing to understand is, let's get rid of some of these. That's the demo one I want. There we go. So the first thing is understanding the difference between newsletter and my email campaigns. Now, the newsletter is quite simply a newsletter that you can send out to everybody. So that will go out. It can go out to everybody. It can go out to all of your free members. It could go out to your beginner members, your advanced members. You have the ability to manipulate, if you like, who gets that particular newsletter. Because if you're sending out a newsletter about the new upgrade feature, so perhaps you could get the new blog for $17.98, well, you probably wouldn't want to send that out to people who have already got it. you'd probably more want to send that information out to people who are perhaps your free members or your beginner members, as an example. And again, all you would do is you click on the create a newsletter. You effectively just write a title. It's exactly like writing an email. Write the body here, and then at the bottom here you can then put in who you want to send that message to. And obviously I'm not going to click that because it will reveal people's details. You could schedule the newsletter to go out, in the next 2 hours or the next 2 days or the next 2 weeks. You could send the message to go out straight away, or you could just send the message to you yourself personally, just to make sure that it looks right and it's formatted okay before you send it out to you. So again, lots and lots of functionality really just within sending out those newsletters. And newsletters, really, you could send those out every day. You could send them out a couple of days a week. You could send them out once a week. You perhaps might want to send one out on a Friday with a summary of what's happened this week, or just keeping your team in up to date with what's happening. Perhaps you want to pass on the details about the Hangout, or any juicy bits that you've got from the Hangout or anything like that. Then that would be the type of thing that you'd send out via the newsletter. Now, the email campaign section. So the campaigns is what we call as an email campaign. Now, an email campaign is, as I've already shown you with the ZUKUL default email sequence. So a campaign is literally, if you're going to do some advertising, then you're going to have the option to create a brand new campaign. So as you can see, we've created one here called demo email sequence. So if I click on, do apologize, I click on there, that allows us to decide who is going to get all of those messages. And again, you could choose one individual, or you could choose all of them, or you could separate it into the free members, the paid members, whatever it might be. So again, that's how you would set up that new campaign. We would set the new campaign up, if it was a fresh one, that it would be for people who are going to be opting into our new campaign, effectively. So I've set one up here already, which is demo email sequence, as you can see. Once you've done that, you've set up a new campaign, you give it a title, press save, then this is what you'll see. You can then edit it. So you could edit who sees it, you could edit the title, any of those sorts of details. And then this is the bit that we're going to be focusing on this evening, which is the actual content of the email. So it's like a stack of books, or a bookshelf. So we click on that sign, and that takes us through to our daily schedule. Now, effectively, this is a calendar. Now, it's not the days of the month, so that's not the 1st of December, for example. It's just the first day that they opt in. So they will receive a message up to 28 days ahead. So when, if I opt in today, then I will receive the first message. If I opted in next week, I would receive the first message. So that's how it would work. Now, ideally, there's a very, very strong school of thought that says that you need to have at least 7 messages in an email sequence. Now, there's lots and lots of different theories about how many messages you have, how often you send them, what you have in them, the types of content you put in them. Effectively, if you speak to 10 people, you'll come up with 10 different methods or theories around how you do email sequencing. It really boils down to what works for you and what's in your style. So how do you actually create an email? Well, the physicality of creating an email is very straightforward. As you can see, to begin with, there are 2 buttons. The first one is obviously to create a message. Then once you've created one, you can then go back and edit it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a message here, which is the second message. So we click that button. And again, as usual, takes us up to a basic editor. So we're just going to put in a subject here. So second message. And we'll just put in here. This. Okay, too strenuous. And we could test that message. or we could save it to an email campaign. So we're going to click Save it to the email campaign. Now there's one person in this email campaign. Okay, so what's happened here is that we already have people within our campaign, but they have gone past the second day. So it might be that they opted in 3 days ago, but we're only now just writing that message. So it's asking us, do we want them to see this message, or don't we want them to see this message? Now, depending on what the messages that you've created, it might be a time-sensitive one. So it might be that, you know, for the first 2 days that somebody opts into one of your lists on one of your campaigns, that there is a special offer. But unfortunately, after the 48 hours, that offer is no longer there. Well, if they've gone past your list, if it's it's a time-sensitive message, then clearly you wouldn't necessarily want them to see that message. So it depends on the message, and it depends on obviously how many you're sending out. Because if you're redoing all of your messages for an existing campaign, then it could be that all the people in that email message might get another 20 messages because you just said yes, yes, yes in clicking this button. So don't automatically click it. Give it some thought about how many messages you're sending them, and obviously bearing in mind that the message itself might be time sensitive. Okay, so in this instance anyway, we're going to click no, and that will obviously show us that we've now got a message here for the first message, and we've got a message now here on the second day. Now we may want to go back and edit the message. So easy, all we do is just click that edit message, and obviously it says second message, and then in a moment we will have our message appear here. So this is not a message, this is the second message. Okay, and then we'll just click save email, and again, as you can see, it's asking us the same question. We don't want them to see it, so we're going to click no, and there we go. So that's the basics of how you're going to create a message. Now I've shown you over recent weeks on if you are advertising somebody else's product, so it might be that you're doing affiliate marketing, or if you're doing ZUKUL, for example, you've got the ZUKUL messages already set up. So it could well be that you're just effectively copying and pasting existing messages into your sequence. But at every point, I'm going to strongly suggest that you change, edit, or correct those messages to make sure that, as I keep saying, they are in your words and they're in your style. So that's the process of the autoresponder setting up the campaigns. Now then, let me see, I'm not going to go into that. The email campaigns log just gives you sight of the emails that you've sent out there, but I don't want to show that because it might have sensitive information on there. But I'm just going to cover the extras manager. So click on that button. Now, most of you, for example, will have subscribers that won't largely come above 2,000. Okay. However, there will be a point once you start to kick in with the Facebook Ninja and Social Sniper. Once you start to use those tools effectively in conjunction with your blog, then what's going to happen is that, over the course of the next few months, is those subscribers are going to push past the 2,000 mark. Now, if that is the case, then you can upgrade. Now, it only costs you $5 per 1,000 subscribers. Now, by all means, go and check how much it's going to cost you to upgrade a similar amount with Aweber and Get Response. And I think you will be pleasantly surprised, to put it that way. So again, you'd only upgrade if you actually needed it. As you can see, in this test account, we've got 104 subscribers. So it's not as though we need to upgrade at this stage. And also, it might be that you have an existing list in another major email autoresponder, and you may want to export that into ZUKUL's list. And again, that will save you an awful lot of money, but also you've got the exact same functionality, and that functionality will obviously grow and expand as obviously Jeremy continues to develop our autoresponder. And there will be the ability for you to export or import your email list. Now, again, there will be a number of checks that will be made to make sure that that list is a genuine list, and it's it's an opted-in list as opposed to one that you've purchased from somebody down a back street, put it that way. So there will be lots of checks in place to make sure that is the case. But like I say, you will have that option obviously further down the line. So that's where we are at the moment with the autoresponder. Now, what I want to do now is obviously stop doing the screen share, and I'm going to now hopefully do a little bit on the flip chart, because I just want to spend 5 or 10 minutes just quickly going through how you set up your own email sequence effectively from scratch, because we've talked about in the past about using other people's work. So if you're doing affiliate programs, if you're doing ZUKUL, like I say, you've already got an affiliate message already set out. You just need to change it. But what I've got here is just a little bit of 5 or 6 notes that I just want to go through with you. Now, this is taken, actually, these are the notes that I had. I did a blog post on the ZUKUL blog recently. I can't think now, it was a couple of days ago, something like that. So I'm just going to go through this in a little bit more, little bit quicker than I would normally, because, again, the meat of this is actually on the blog. And then what I'll then do is I'll then go back to the blog, and I'll show you on the blog where you can find some really useful information. So with that said, okay, so this is email marketing basics, and they are absolutely basics. It really is nothing to be worried about or scared about. If you can simply write an email, and just saying thank you very much is a good enough first message. And I think I put on the blog itself, I think, if you just said thank you very much for being a subscriber, I really want to do business with you, then you're upfront, you're friendly, and that actually has got results in the past. So so it doesn't matter how blunt you are, or if you want to put in some humor into there or whatever, just be yourself. That's the big strong message here. So the first thing, and I mentioned this a few times, I always talk about having a swipe file. Now, again, for the people out there who are unsure what a swipe file is, you will be constantly bombarded with advertisements and emails. It doesn't matter who you are, you're always going to get them. Now, when you get those, the ones which jump out at you or make you stop and think, those are the banners that you want to effectively copy and put in a folder on your desktop. They are the headlines that you like. Put those into a text document, and again, keep those on your desktop. And if you read an email and you think, oh, that's really good, then again, keep that and put it in a text document and keep that on your folder in your desktop. And that's effectively a swipe file. So you'll always have a swipe file for banners, advertisements, headlines, email copy, closing copy, how to actually ask people for money, ask people to make a purchase, whatever it might be, then have a swipe file for that. And if nothing else, it gives you something to just quickly read through, over a cup of coffee or something, before you get started in writing anything for yourself. So each time I come to write an advert, whether it be for Facebook or Craigslist or whatever it might be, I always have a quick flick through my swipe file. And I do the same thing for landing pages or capture pages or squeeze pages, is that I have a swipe file of all the pages that I like the look of. They've done something to me at some point in the past. Funnily enough, when I go back to them, some of them aren't as effective as I once thought they were. And and that really is about, there is always a right time to buy, if you like. So when I saw that the first time, I was in the mood to be approached in that way. But actually, when in time goes by, when I then re-look at it, it doesn't look as effective as I thought it would. And that's quite normal. You'll write stuff today and perhaps look at it next week and think, what, I'm not so sure that was the right thing to say, I haven't phrased it correctly, or you're always going to be looking to improve something. But the key thing is just to get down there and start to get something down. All right. So the first thing is, have a look at your swipe file. Have a look at introductions. Okay, so I've got a huge list in the back office of ZUKUL, of I don't know, there's about 200 gurus, if you like, people who do lots of blogging, people who have lists, that type of thing. I would really strongly advise you to register for these people and then have a look at the first 4 or 5 emails that they send through, because they do those in a particular way, and you need to have a look at that. And that's first 4 or 5 emails are really, really key. So have a look at them, have a look at the style, have a look at what some of them are to be talking about, you've just subscribed to their blog. Some of them will be because you just subscribed to their blog and got a free gift or a free bribe, whether it be an ebook or a DVD or a training series or whatever it might be. Some of them you might have subscribed for a paid offer but actually not paid for it, and again you're going to get a series of emails about that. So keep those things if they're really effective and you like them, okay? Because again, that is reference material for you for further down the line. So as I said, there is a couple of blog posts with killer headlines on there. So again, they're written in a way that you can literally just copy and paste them into a text document, okay? So you don't necessarily have to keep referring back to your blog, or better still maybe is to copy and paste them onto a blog post of your own, okay? Put them on your own blog, okay? They're there for you to use. That's the whole point of what we're doing with the ZUKUL blog. It's there for you to find ideas, copy, paste, adapt, do whatever you want with them, okay? So I'll show you where they are in a moment. And then we get down to the nitty-gritty of it. So, excuse me. So, whatever it is you're writing about, so, it might be about ZUKUL, it might be about the landing page creator, okay? You can now sell the landing page creator for $17.98. You've got with that landing page creator, you've obviously got a built-in autoresponder as well, remember. So that's a flipping good deal. So again, think of 10 good reasons why something that you're selling, something you're promoting, something that you're doing, why is that a good thing? All right. Now it might be, when you sat down, really, really quite difficult. It might be because it's red, or because it's got some nice fonts. It could be anything, okay? So what are the really 10 good reasons for getting it? Now, you should be able to come up with 10, all right? That's a given. You should be able to come up with 10. If you can't, all right, whatever number you come up with, you need to be able to pick the best 5 reasons, okay? So what are the best 5 reasons for the landing page creator? Well, the first thing for me is that it's dead easy. Okay, you've got a video above each page which tells you exactly what to do on there. And it's free hosting. Okay, free hosting doesn't normally come with landing page creators. You've got the ability to personalize it, because you've got the code that you can put on the subdomain code. You know what I mean anyway. And also you've got the ability to add your own content. You've got the ability to add your own video. You've got the ability to add your own images. You've got the ability to have just a video on its own. You've got the ability to have a time delay button, so you could have a webinar or a video with a button that comes up at a certain time. There's 10, and I'm not even really thinking about it. So there's 10 great reasons of why the landing page creator is such a great product. Now, I would pick the 5 best reasons, and those would form part of my 5 first emails, okay? So again, brilliant thing is that you could do a video showing each one of these 5 things in action. It could be 30 seconds long, okay? But it's a video, goes onto YouTube, gets cross-links. It's a video that goes onto Facebook. It's a video that goes onto Social Sniper. Okay, so it's what I'm trying to do is help you understand that we're starting with email marketing, but the spin-offs from it are massive, because you can start to feed other things into the way that you're promoting it. All right. You can also, not sure whether we've got that functionality in it now, but we're working on the functionality for you to be able to put in a video into your email. Now, if we haven't got that, that's not a problem, because what you have got the ability to do, because you have the text document, is that you can put in an image of a video, so a YouTube video, okay? So you could take a screenshot of your video, put it in your email, and then you put a link on that image, and that link will then take them to YouTube, okay? Or take them, better still, to your blog, where you will have that video on your blog, all right? See what I'm thinking? See the way that the whole process works together. So whatever the 5 best reasons are, those are going to be your 5 first emails. Then the other 5 reasons will be the other 5 reasons. And then guess what? You might then go back to your first 5 and perhaps reword them again, or bring 2 of them together to then make that your 11th and 12th and 13th and 14th message, because you've got the basics of your first 10 messages already there, okay? So once you've done that, what do you actually put in the email? Well, you remember on Wednesday, there is an old maxim that is, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them what you said you were going to tell them, and then finally, you tell them what it is that you just told them, all right? Those are the 3 things. And again, if you remember when we started this Hangout, I told you what we were going to go over. I'm now going over what we were going to go over. And then at the end, I will clearly summarize everything that we've gone over. So that's exactly how you write an email. Now, that could be 3 sentences, okay, interspersed with a link. It can be as simple as that. So tell them what you want to tell them. I'm going to tell you about the number 1 best thing about the Easy Landing Page Creator. Okay, then you tell them what you told them. And the number 1 best thing about the landing page creator for me is X, yeah? And then you tell them, and then you tell them what it is you told them. So again, as I've said, the number 1 reason for the landing page creator is X. And then finally, you then tell them to take a specific action, okay? So for example, at the end of, I think, all my emails, or even within my emails, you'll have a link, and I will always say something like, click the link, or to read more, click this link, or to see more, click this link, or whatever it might be. You tell them to click the link. If you don't tell them to click the link, they won't click the link. So tell them to take a specific action, all right? Now, it might be that your specific action is click this link. It might be that to watch this short video. Tell them how short it is, because when people say, it's a video, they think, it's going to go on for 4 or 5 minutes. Well, tell them it's, watch this 30-second video, or watch this short video, especially at the 30-second stage, or whatever. Just make sure that you give them some sort of specifics within the email, all right? Then the next one is within your sequence. So you've got, let's say we've got 10 emails. You can slip in some bonuses. You could slip in some freeness, okay? So it might be that you have, I don't know, Landing Page Creator 101 ebook that you've picked up from somewhere along the lines. Or you might have some how to build fantastic landing pages. You might have a couple of videos that you've got lying around on your computer. Everybody has got stuff that they've collected over time, okay? Get that information. Don't give them that information, say, here's a download for you. Get that information onto your blog in some format. So if the videos are there, get them uploaded onto YouTube, put them onto your blog. If you've got an ebook or a report or something lying around on your desktop that's specifically about building landing pages, then copy and paste it, stick it on your blog, stick it on a page, and then direct people to that, okay? It's getting people into going back to your blog, going back to your blog, going back to your blog. And then, of course, you've got the other angle, which is unusual and unsuspected content. Is that right, content? Yeah, okay. I don't know what I was drinking there. So unusual content. Let me just move that down a little bit so you get a chance to look at that. What I've written. Hopefully you can see that. So yeah, so unusual or unsuspected content. And again, I've written about these in the past. I need to come down here, don't I? Sorry. Oh dear. Here we go. Right, see if I can come down this way. There we go. Okay, so What do I mean by that? Well, there is a great website, and I think I've put this link on the blog at some point, but I'm sure a quick Google search for days of the year or hard to find news items. If you Google that, then you will find a website that will produce that information. You obviously subscribe to it. They will send you at the beginning of the week the days of the year. Now, what does days of the year mean? It means like, so for example, this week it's, next week it's Crumpet Week on Tuesday. Okay. Now, if you live in the UK, you know what a crumpet is. If you live elsewhere in the world, you probably don't necessarily know what a crumpet is. Left-handers week is in January. Okay, so again, I create an email. This is part more in line with, say, your newsletter email. Okay, so this might be an ad hoc message that you send out. So just say congratulations to all the left-handers. You know, it's or happy Left-handers Day or whatever it might be. Yeah, and again, you could do a blog about it and do an email which points the people to the blog, and that blog post will stay there all the time. And the email sequence which points them to the blog could be in your email sequence, and it doesn't matter if they read that email today or in 12 months' time. That blog post will still be there, so it's still a relevant email. But again, it just takes them out of that, oh, another email about the landing page creator. Well, actually, it's not. It's Happy Left-handers Day. Well, okay, so go and have a look at what that might be. It gets them into the habit of opening up your emails. Okay, that's the thing. And hard to find news. Okay, hard to find news. Okay, a guy went on holiday. He went from, I think it was from New York to San Francisco, but unfortunately he couldn't afford the air flight. So what he did is he got himself into a box, got a friend to nail him in the box, and he had himself air freighted and delivered to his parents' house, which is absolutely fine. Unfortunately, when he was delivered to his parents' house, he got out of the box too soon, and the delivery guy from UPS spotted him, reported him, and obviously he's now speaking to the local constabulary, I think. So again, it's an unusual story. It's a bit off the wall. It's a bit funny. And again, you could do a blog post about it. You could put it in an email. And again, it's just a bit quirky. All right, and it's just encouraging people, if you like, to open your emails and then take some action. All right, so there we go. So that again is another nice trick that you can use. And then here we've got the sequence. Okay, so again, big schools of thought on this. When do you send them? How often do you send them? And you know, how many should you do? It really, you know, like I say, if you've got 10 people, you're going to get 10 different answers. The usual school of thought is that you would send a message every day for the first to 5, first to 7 days. They would get 7 messages. And then during the second week, they would probably get a message every other day. Now, there are other people who will send 3 or 4 messages out a day. There are, you know, I'm trying to think of the guy's name now. He's quite a famous marketer, and his name's escaped me. But you'll soon know about it if you're on his list, because you will just get bombarded by like 3, 4, 5 emails every single day. He has a huge list, and he just hits his list all the time with offer after offer after offer, and that's how he operates. He's very successful at it, because people get onto his list for that sort of information. Okay, so people, if you don't like that sort of information, you unsubscribe, and this is where these different schools of thought come up from, because some people like to have a huge list. You know, they like the comfort of a huge list because they think that that's going to make some money for them. Well, it doesn't necessarily work that way. What does work is a responsive list. So if you've got a list of 4, 5, 10,000 people, but actually only 300 or 400 are opening your emails, well, actually you're paying autoresponder fees to Aweber or GetResponse, which are going to be in the region of like $150 a month for a 10,000 strong list, and you've actually only got about 100, 200 people opening it. Well, you might as well get rid of 95% of those people and just have a core list of about 400 or 500 who are constantly opening up your emails. So don't get too wound up about what is the absolute right way and what is the wrong way. You will find what is right for you and your people and your list by going through this process. Okay. And like I say, add to it over time. So you might start off with 10 emails, but again, as you write relevant content on your blog, then put a little bit of that into an email as well, and then point your email. If you want to read more about how to create great landing pages, then read this article that I've just posted, or whatever it might be. Then again, you can add that into your sequence. So again, it's all about giving people information. So it's forcing them to open an email to get into that habit of opening it up and taking the action that you suggest. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm just going to very quickly show you some bits and pieces on the blog. So which means I'm going to do a screen share again, hopefully. This will be great if I don't lose you a second time. So we'll go to our blog. Now, you can find most of it is going to be under copywriting. So under copywriting, you're going to find most of the key things that I've just been talking about. So you've got your top 10 action-taking headlines. You've got your $1 million headlines. Have you got a head for headlines? Copywriting for dummies, and then also email marketing and all that type of thing. So again, it's a lot of information down here. So I don't know, I'll click on this one here, $1 million headlines. Sounds good. So with this one here, this is the one I was hoping it was going to be. So you can see here that you've got literally just a list of headlines that have made a lot of money, and you can easily use this phraseology and just put in, ZUKUL landing page creator, or XYZ lotion. So there's lots and lots of bits and pieces that you can put in there. And I've even got a video here as well. Yeah, loads and loads. There's best part of 127 headlines there, and then you've got some more here, and obviously a lot more detail here. So a lot of detail on the blog. So please keep going back to the blog. Obviously, it's at blog.zukul.com, but obviously there will also be a link inside your back office. So if you go to your Getting Started section, then there will be, as you can see here, the company blog logo goes there. So obviously you can just click on that. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, and hopefully I then get you back. There we go. We're all in one piece. So just to try and recap, we're coming up to, goodness me, doesn't time fly? I do apologise. So just to recap, a couple of new buttons in the back office. You have the directs, so obviously you can now start to see your directs over 3 levels, which would be really nice. Obviously, if you're being paid down to 3 levels, it'd be really good to see who's really building that business for you, and you can be able to see that, like I say, by the numbers in the brackets. You'll be able to click on their name, and it will obviously expand out for you. Also, there's now a products tab. So again, you can click on there, and people who are at the beginners level, they will be able to upgrade to specific areas within the intermediate package. So if you're on the if you're at the beginners, you have the principal piece of software, which is the social sniper. You might want to have the Facebook Ninja as well, or you might want to have the blog. It could be any combination of whatever it is. You might want the landing page creator. So again, you could just simply buy that, and again, same principle applies. It's got a 3-level affiliate plan attached to that, which is really good. So that was that. Then there was that, and then the blog page. Remember that I showed you that currently the blog page has a single rectangle with a column on, and what we're doing at the moment is we're working a way to get rid of that column on pages that we want to get rid of it, not completely obviously. And then on that page you'll then be able to put in iframes, which is effectively you'll be able to sit another website on that page. And as Jeremy's shown you on that example, he's sitting Amazon on there. great for people who are, Amazon affiliates. You'd be able to sit your Amazon site literally on your blog. Again, other affiliates may be able to set their sales pages on those blog, or you'll be able to sit your easy landing page created sales pages on your blog as well. So there's lots of ways that you can use that functionality. And then we talked about the autoresponder. I've walked you through how all the various functions work, how you can create a campaign, how you can create obviously an email and then obviously go back and edit it. And then we also showed you how to do the ZUKUL one. So you've got a ZUKUL template, if you like, it's already made up. You can edit that, or you can write it completely differently. So you've got that functionality with creating your email sequences. And then you also have the ability to send one-off emails or newsletters, as we've called it in the back office. And again, those will be great for, welcome to the weekend type, that was the week that was type newsletter, or, welcome to Monday, this is what we've got planned for this week ahead, or whatever it might be. There's lots of room for imagination and innovation within that. And then finally, I went through the basics of how to actually write your own email sequences from scratch. And obviously I've just covered off some basics there, but those basics have seen me and many copywriters write for a long time. And if you try to overcomplicate these things and you try to get into the psychology of this and the psychology of that, you tend to miss the whole point. And the whole point is that you are sending them a message about a topic. You're then going to tell them about that topic, and then you're going to simply remind them about that topic. And incidentally, that's why on every or most emails that you'll get, you don't actually get them from me, oddly enough, but from probably everybody else, is you'll get PS, PPS, PPPPS, SSS. So you'll get all those PPSs at the bottom. Okay. So again, it's all about telling them to do something, telling them to take an action, and then reinforcing that message of why you sent that email to them in the first place. Okay, that's enough for me. I've been going on now for 15 minutes or so. So hopefully you found that useful. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Hopefully we'll have Jeremy with us if he's got a connection. If not, it doesn't matter. We'll be going through the compensation plan, and I'll walk you through the compensation plan now. We'll promise to be as brief as I can, but as concise as I can, and we'll try and keep that down to about half an hour on Monday. All right. Lovely speaking to you. Well, not speaking to you, but lovely having your company. And thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.